Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if this is not your first time. Today we have two DIYs. The first one is this home sign made out of some Dollar Tree materials. And the second will be this faux galvanized bucket made out of Dollar Tree materials. I absolutely love how this one turned out. Y'all let me know after you watch the video which is your favorite in the comments. This one, I do believe, is my favorite in this video. First, we're going to start off with the home sign. And these are made from the signs, shadow box like signs from the Dollar Tree. These just say a truck full of love, but honestly, any sign that you find that looks like this would work. It doesn't matter what season or anything like that it is. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the sticker. Y'all, this is the easiest sticker I have ever removed from a Dollar Tree product. Usually I have to get my hairdryer out and warm it up in order to get it to come off. But this one was so easy. Then I just removed the hanger from this also. And I'm going to start with one coat of Waverly chalk paint. I cannot remember. This may be the ivory. I believe it is the ivory. And I'm not worrying about the back. We're going to cover that up. We're just going to go all around the sides and in the middle on the inside of the sign. There's my handy dandy hair dryer. But y'all, by the next video, I should have my heat gun in. I went ahead, bit the bullet, got me another one. So now I will have one at home in Kentucky and one with me wherever we travel. So again, just going through, gonna paint one good coat on this. It does take more than one coat. I believe in the end, I end up painting 3 coats on this. I mean, this is really good coverage paint, but I wanted a good coverage. And then when I go through to distress it, I kind of wish I had not had done the 3 coats. I wish I would have stopped at 1, possibly even 2. I'm at a little different angle here today. I was trying some new things out with the camera and with different places to sit and all that. And this is not the most flattering angle, so forgive me for that. But like I said, I'm new at YouTube. All my videos may be different for a little while until I get the hang of it all. So now I'm just going through and using my sanding block from the Dollar Tree and distressing. I don't know if it is actually the color of the paint or the coverage of the paint, or if it is my sanding block that is causing me so much trouble distressing this. I'm thinking it's my sanding block because I have used this thing so much. It doesn't look like it, but honestly, there on that one side there was quite a bit of grit, but I used all of that on these 4 little signs. So again, I'm not sure why it was taking so long and why it was so hard, but I just distressed the top, the sides, inside it. I want to give this the farmhouse look, so I want to make sure that it's good and distressed. And I go on and I paint all 4 of these boxes the same exact way and then distress the same exact way. Now here's where I was talking about we're going to cover this up. We're going to take some brown craft paper from the Dollar Tree. You just buy it in a roll. You can buy it from the Dollar Tree. You can buy it from Walmart, any kind of craft store. And I'm just going to glue this on with my Surebonder cordless glue gun. I love this thing. I got it on, I had it in my cart in Amazon. And then I went to Hobby Lobby right before I pushed purchase and use a 50% off coupon. And I think I ended up getting it for like $13 or 40% off coupon. So I do this to all 4 boxes again, signs. I cover them all up. Now I'm just taking my scissors and I'm getting as close as possible to this sign and cutting this excess paper off. If you don't get it all, don't worry about it. I'll show you what we're going to do. But just cut as close as you can. Then you want to take your sanding block and kind of sand this paper off. You can see how I'm doing it here. And it just shreds it right off and gives it a clean cut. Now, it would have been a better cut and a cleaner cut if that's why I do believe it's my sanding block. I'm going to need to get a new one. But you just go through and do that to all 4 of these. Again, same thing. Now I have printed off or cut out an H, an M, and an E. I did not worry about the O because we're going to do something different. Don't worry about those little holes down there where the hanger was because we are going to cover those up. I'm just trying to get it as straight as possible and as centered as possible. And then I'm just going to put this down. I do the same exact thing for the M and the E in the 2 of the other boxes. So we're doing H, M, and E on the Cricut. We're going to do something else for the O. Okay, now we're coming to the O. We're going to use one of these grapevine wreaths that I found at the Hobby Lobby. I got 3 or no, maybe it was 4 in a pack. And I'm just going to use one of these. I'm just going to glue it on. Just glue it straight down on the box. And of course it's a grapevine wreath, so all the pieces do not want to stay down and adhere to that box. So I kind of lift it up here in just a second and put a little bit more glue underneath. You see that right there. Put some more glue underneath there, and that seems to help. So we're just going to glue this down. Now we're going to take some Walmart greenery. I don't even know what this stuff is called, y'all. If you know, let me know in the comments. And we're just going to go around the wreath and put some greenery on there. This little tool I've got that I'm using, I picked up at the Dollar Tree. There was 2 in a pack. And it's, I don't know what people call it. I call it a pokey tool. It has a little sharper end at one end where that cap is at. And then at the other end is like a little spatula. And I use it to help hold things down when I'm gluing them because, y'all, my fingers are just awful from all the glue. I have burnt myself so many times with all this glue. But I just cut the ends off. I just picked these actual greenery. I picked it off the stem that I got it on from Walmart. And then I cut the very end of it off. And I'm just going to glue them all go in the same direction around the wreath. I don't know what y'all's weather is like where you're at, but I am in Norfolk, Virginia Beach area, and I woke up this morning to snow. Reminded me a little bit of home, which that always helps. But did y'all get snow? I know a lot of people that haven't seen snow in a long time got snow this weekend or this week, and I believe we heard on the news last night that this is the first significant snowfall that Norfolk, Virginia Beach has had in over 1,000 days. I think they said it was since 2018. So it was nice to wake up to some snow. I've not left the hotel today, though. I'm still in my pajamas, and I had to go downstairs to the lobby for something. And I went down there in my pajamas, and one of the maids stopped me and asked me how I was and asked if I liked the snow. I said, yeah, I like it as long as I'm sitting in my room and I don't have to be out driving in it. So again, we're just going around. We're just gluing this greenery down. Going to get it down as well as we can. I think this one turned out really cute. This is one of those projects that in the middle of it, I was kind of like, how's this going to turn out? But I think it turned out really good. Here I'm just taking this ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. I call this a ticking ribbon. It's just like a stripe, a cream with a black or gray stripe on it. I don't know what everyone else calls it, but that's what I call it. I just make me a little simple bow, little shoestring bow. I'm going to cut the tails down a little bit. Oh, I dovetail those tails. I didn't even know, I don't even remember doing that. So I dovetail the tails. And then we're just going to stick it on top of the wreath. I love greenery and a bow. I just think it looks so cute. Now we're going to take our H and our wreath one, which becomes our O. We're just going to secure these together. I just put a couple beads of hot glue. Line them up as best as I can. You know how these signs are from the Dollar Tree. They are never the exact size or shape as one that looks identical to it. So, you know, you just kind of get it as best as you can. And then I'm going to take some of the brown nautical rope. Here I'm just figuring out my placement and how I want to do it. And I've decided to go around the edges here with the nautical rope, just a bead of hot glue, and push it down. And I don't cut this to go around the corners. I just kind of manipulate it when I'm going around the corners, so I don't have to have a lot of cut places on this nautical rope, because if you don't watch it, it will fray a lot, and I didn't want a lot of fraying, so I just did it the best I could. There you see me. I've decided to get, I was sitting on my knees, and I've decided to go down on my bottom, so forgive the shots you're getting of my 1,000 chins there. I've got to get a new pair of scissors, y'all. I've got to. Every pair of scissors I own is awful, but that's just because I use it for everything. So now, use them for every kind of material. Now I'm just going to take my M and my E, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Sorry, I'm out of frame there. We're going to put a couple beads of hot glue, put them together as well as we can. Do the exact same thing. There's that nautical rope. Do the exact same thing with this. We're going to go here. I just go around the outside edges, but you'll see on the finished product that I do end up going down the middle also. It had a more finished look, I think, than when it was just around the outside edge. So we're just going to get all this tacked down. There's not a whole lot of distressing on some of these boxes, because whew, I'm telling you, I do believe it was my sanding block though. So I'm gonna have to go over and get me another one, but that's all I had. I didn't even have a nail file in here to use. Y'all see me sticking my tongue out right there? I do that when I'm concentrating. So now I'm deciding how I want to place this. At first I was just gonna glue them all together and make it a longer sign, but then I loved how this, I guess you'd call it like maybe a window pane looked. I thought that looked really cute, so I decided just to stack them. And to do that, we're just doing the same thing we did to adhere the two together, the H and the O and the M and the E. We're just going to run some hot glue, beads of hot glue on it, stick them together, hold them together. I don't worry about anything but hot glue. This isn't going to be moved around a lot, so. Here's our finished product. I did end up putting a little bit of greenery in the corners, and of course, like I said, I decided to go ahead and put that nautical rope down the middle of it also. I like how this turned out. I love the greenery. I just styled it with a couple little topiaries that I bought at Target Dollar Spot the other day for $3. Aren't those cute? But I thought this turned out really good. It's a little bit different of a color with that ivory, I believe it is, than what I'm used to. I mean, it is a neutral color, but it's just a little bit different of a color. I use a lot of white, and I decided I needed to change it up a little bit. So now for a second project, we're going to use one of these little buckets that I bought at the Dollar Tree. It's red. It's very red. And I'm going to try to do this as a galvanized look. And I tried to go over it with some gunmetal paint, and it was just not working. So I decided to go over it with some Folk Art black chalk paint first. So we're going to start with that. This project does take a lot of paint, but in the end, it is so worth it. I know right now that the Dollar Tree is carrying the galvanized buckets, and they are $1. But I'm just trying to give an alternative because they do not, the spring and the summer, I believe, actually, I think it's mainly the spring is when they carry those a lot. And then during the rest of the year, they don't really carry those. You're lucky if you find them. So I decided to take a bucket that has a different color just to show you. Just because the Dollar Tree or Walmart or wherever doesn't have what you're looking for, especially for $1, doesn't mean you can't make something else into what you want it to be. So I take that black folk art chalk paint and I go over this, and I go over this 3 times. I do the outside and the inside. I do not worry about the bottom. Y'all have heard me say it before. If anyone comes into my house and picks something up just to see what the bottom looks like, I'm not sure that I want that person in my house. I mean, I can understand someone picking up a decor piece and looking at it from all angles, but nobody's going to be picking this up, y'all. Except maybe my grandbabies. Now, I do have grandbabies that will pick up everything, so. But here I'm just showing you, I did 3 coats of that folk art black chalk paint. Inside, or the inside I did 2 coats, but the outside I did 3 coats. Now I'm going to take that Color Smart acrylic paint, and this color, again, don't worry about the bottom. This color is gunmetal, and I'm going to start painting it. And I think I do 2 good coats with this. I don't think I worry about so much about the 3 coats. I just do 2 coats on this. Y'all, if you can hear the wind in the background, it's not because I'm outside, but the wind here today is awful, and it seems to be blowing through our little heater here in the room, and it is awful. I feel so sorry for my husband today. He is working on, if you're familiar with Norfolk, Virginia, he's working on the Hampton Bay Bridge Tunnel, I believe it is. And this wind is awful. And where he works up high. So I'm sure he is going to be frigid when he comes home tonight. He does dress warmly, thank God. It takes him about 5 minutes to get out of all of his layers when he gets home, but he's going to be cold today. This wind just rips right through you. But anyway, I'm going back over this again. I think I do 2 coats on this. I don't think I do the inside, y'all. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that I don't. We'll see here in just a minute. I just did this morning. You'd think I'd remember, but I don't. I don't think I did, though. I just left it black, because I'm going to style it with some things in it. So, and then, like I said, 2 good coats of the gunmetal on the outside. And I think it looks cute just like that. I mean, that looks like a metal basket to me, y'all, or a metal bucket. And I love the design, again, not worrying about that bottom. So now it's time to give it the galvanized look. There's many different tutorials on YouTube. I've kind of followed a bunch of them, and I've just put my own little spin on it. I use some makeup brushes from the Dollar Tree. A light gray, I believe this is the Elephant in Waverly chalk paint. The Folk Art white chalk paint, and burnt umber in the apple barrel acrylic paint, and of course my Folk Art black. First thing I do is, we're already at the gunmetal color. So I'm going to take the elephant, and I'm just going to take my sponge, dip it in, and get some of it off, tap it off. And then I'm just going to start tapping all over this. It's going to look like little polka dots at first. But this is kind of like when you do your makeup. You have to blend, blend, blend. And really, when you're first doing it, you look at it and you think, oh my goodness. But I promise you, if you stay with it, It looks amazing. Y'all, like I told you, this is my favorite project that I've done. There's what just the light gray, the elephant gray looks like on it. Now I'm going to go in with some of the white Waverly chalk paint, doing the exact same thing. Going over that, just in different spots, just tapping all over. We're going to blend it all. We're kind of blending it as we go. It's really easy. It just takes some time. It takes some time, and it doesn't really take a lot of paint. Now I'm going in with the black, doing the same thing. I do mine in sections. It just makes it easier for me. Just going through and tapping that black on there. And as you can, if you can see, I'm kind of out of frame, but it all blends in together. Now, if you get too much of the white or the black, don't worry about it. Go back in with that elephant. That's what I'm doing right now because I got a little heavy-handed with the black. Go back in, put some more of that elephant over it, and it all blends in together, and it looks so neat when you are done with it. I love, love, love how this turned out. But yeah, just go back in. If you get too much of one color, take another color, dab over it, blend it in. That's all you have to do. It is easier than what you think it is. Now I'm taking the burnt umber, and this is used for me. I use this as like rust. Galvanized buckets, galvanized anything, metal anything will rust with age. So I just wanted to bring out a little bit of that, make it look like it was rusted. Y'all, when I get done with this, I don't think you can even tell that this is a plastic bucket or a plastic container from the Dollar Tree. I don't know what you would pay for something like this. I haven't really looked around, but you would certainly pay more than $1. So I just used that burnt umber again, blending. I use this burnt umber, and I'll show you here a little bit later in the video. This has, you can see those little ridges inside. Well, on the outside, they're kind of raised. So I use that to go around, especially where something would rust, where something metal would rust, which would be those raised edges, the bottom, and the top lip. I got a little heavy-handed on the burnt umber, so I went back in with some white. Then I went back in with some of the elephant color. There's what it looks like. I love it. I think it looks so good, and I think it looks galvanized. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. But again, I do in sections. So now we're heading on to another section, starting with that elephant Waverly chalk paint. It's just a couple shades lighter than the gunmetal, so that's what I always start with. Now we're going in with some more white. Again, dab, dab, dab. That's all you're doing. Stippling. You're just going all over it. And y'all, I guess I did paint I'm just now looking at this. I guess I did do the gunmetal color in the middle, or on the inside of the bucket. I didn't think I did, but I guess I did. But I do not go in and galvanize it. I don't worry about that. So, again, just alternate those colors, stipple it on, blend it in like you do your makeup. Make sure you get that rim, because you do want to get that rim as well as you can, and down towards the bottom and underneath that rim. Like I said, this is one of those projects. That's where I'm showing you. I got a little heavy-handed with the black, so I just go back in with that elephant, and I just tone it down a little bit. I mean, and another thing, I do not let this paint dry. I go right on, because there's hardly any actual paint. It looks like a lot, but there's hardly any paint on your sponge, so I do not let this dry. Go right in with it, with the next color. Here, I think, yeah, this is where I'm showing you these ridges. That's where something would normally naturally rust, and down there on the bottom and on the top. So I do go a little heavy-handed with that, because I want that to look rusted. I want that to look worn. But when you go a little heavy-handed, if you think it's too much, go back in with that elephant, or the white, or the black, or whatever it is. And And you don't have to use these exact colors. Just go a shade or two lighter with than what your original gray is. Most people I have seen will spray paint. I can't spray paint, for those of you who haven't heard before. At this moment, I'm in a hotel, so I can't spray paint. There's nowhere even to go outside and spray paint. So I just do it. I just go ahead and chalk paint it. There's some more of those little raised parts on the sides. And I go through and use some burnt umber on that here in just a minute too. You can see the difference in when it's too heavy-handed, and then you just go back over it. So I'm just going over those ridges with that burnt umber, making the rust look a little more. This is an easy. It's not a long process. It's an easy process, and it's not real long, but it's not something you can do in just a couple minutes either. But it's so worth it when you are done. The way it looks is amazing, and I love it. I'm showing y'all my Kiss My Grits tumbler I got at Cracker Barrel. I love it. Now I've just made me a little stencil that says Main Street Feed and Supply. I made it out of almost an olive green. I don't really know what color that is, but I loved the green. Made it on my, not a stencil, I'm sorry, a decal. Made it on my Cricut, putting it on there. I love that greenish color with the galvanized look. I think it looks so good. And this is what it looks like. Now we're going to take some Mod Podge, because that was not a great hold with the decal because of the curve and because this is plastic. So I'm going to take some Mod Podge. I got this from the Dollar Tree. It's the matte Mod Podge. I'm just going to put a little bit on there. I do 2 coats of this Mod Podge because I want to make sure that this decal stays on there. So just go over it really good. I'm heavy-handed with this Mod Podge. And of course my handy dandy hair dryer here in a minute. I can't wait to get my new heat gun, and it's a bigger one. The one I have at home is a mini, but this one's a full-size one, so I'm excited to get it and start using that. Now I'm going to have to get me a new hair dryer. But anyway, y'all, this is how this is going to turn out, and I hope you like this. I hope you like the video. If you enjoy Dollar Tree DIYs and farmhouse DIYs on a budget, then please like my channel. And I know a lot of you are watching my videos but aren't subscribing, and it helps me so much by just watching them. But then in the YouTube world, subscribers mean a lot, so I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. I just decorated this with some greenery and a faux candle from the Dollar Tree. And y'all, here's the two finished projects. I can't talk today. I think they both turned out really good. I hope you all enjoyed this. Again, I do this because I love it, and I'm just trying to make it in this little YouTube world, and it's hard, but if you have the right people supporting you, you can do anything. So please, again, I know I ask a lot. I would love if y'all would subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. I hope y'all have a blessed day. Keep crafting out there, y'all. God bless you.